Have you stopped doing the things that you love? Maybe slacked on eating and going to the gym, and maybe even declining social events? Being a dementia caregiver is something that can really take a toll on you, especially if it was unexpected. So whether you're at the beginning of this journey, mid, or end, I want to speak to just the reality of it all. Just remember that you are not alone, and the guilt that comes with it will definitely overpower you if you allow it to. I understand that, you have to make decisions like, do we have to put mom or dad in assisted living? Do we need to bring on extra help? Things of that nature, or even sometimes families have to move their parents into their home, which essentially changes the whole dynamic of their family. But in the end, just know that preparation and your mindset behind it all is what's going to get you through this tremendous responsibility. Remembering that if you don't take care of yourself and carve out some time for yourself, then you won't be able to properly care for your loved one. And I understand with dementia, personally, you have the repetitive questions, and not having a roadmap on how to deal with that sometimes can really test your patience. I've heard families even lose their temper with their loved one, and then they feel guilty afterwards. They soak in the guilt. So just remember that this journey, yes, it is a long journey ahead, but there are so many resources out there. There's so many different things that you can do just to ease the thing. Now, don't get me wrong, the responsibility is not going to fully go away, but having the right thought process to get through it and endure it will make a tremendous difference on your outcome. Journaling, I love to write, so I found that some people journal or they jot down their thoughts, and that kind of helps because journaling can be therapy in a sense. Even seeing a professional therapist, having another head just come together with you that can give you some tools and strategic planning on how you can move forward. And again, just knowing that there are resources out there, especially if your loved one was VA, they offer respite services. So even if that means 4 hours a day for you to go out and just do you, golfing, massages, whatever that looks like for you, take advantage of that respite care and not have guilt in your heart behind it. I actually recently met a woman, and she finally committed to respite care services for her mother, who she had to move into her home. And the first day that the caregiver came to her home, she said she sat on the parking lot of wherever she was going, and she cried for an entire hour because she just felt guilty that someone else was in the home and taking care of her mother. So just, putting everything on paper, I have found very useful personally. Put it down on paper, plan accordingly. Don't be afraid to ask for help. A lot of people are prideful or sometimes ashamed of what they're experiencing, especially if they've already seen the subtle signs in the beginning, but you kind of deny it and kind of keep pushing, and boom, now it's here. It's your reality. But again, some of the things that I share with my family when they are sitting in guilt is, when the guilt shows up, when the thoughts show up, because they will, probably in the middle of the night, ask yourself, am I doing something immoral? Obviously, the answer is no. You're doing the best that you can. You're putting your best foot forward. You're using all of your resources. You're breathing. You're working on your patience. You're doing all of those things. And also kind of look at it as if you had a friend that was going through what you were going through, what advice would you tell your friend? Like, what feedback would you give them? I'm sure you would tell them to, you know, continue to take care of yourself, whatever, drink your water, whatever that looks like for you in your life. Just taking yourself out the equation mentally and giving yourself your own feedback that you would for, you know, a friend of yours or a relative. Dementia looks different for everyone. You know, you have the early stages and some mid and end stages where the family is where the person is no longer able to care for themselves at all. So just the basics, brushing their teeth, going to the restroom, you know, then that means that they'll need incontinent care. And obviously some people are not comfortable with that. So that's where a professional caregiver comes in. If you have siblings, get everybody on board to see who can assist. Just delegate the responsibilities, and you'll eventually see that the burden is being lifted. Regardless of where you're watching from, there are tons of support groups out there. So getting in a support group, they are virtual. They have some that are in person as well. They usually meet, I don't know, it just depends on the group. Some weekly, some twice a week, even once a month. And you will find that having someone in the same position as you and you're meeting regularly to discuss your issues and, you know, the things that you are ashamed about, maybe those thoughts that you have that you haven't shared with anyone. And, you know, just getting the proper support, it is definitely what's needed. Don't be ashamed. You need it. But anyways, I am not going to be before you long. I just wanted to hop on and let you know that the way you are feeling is normal. I can't say, you know, don't feel guilty, but just learn to control your thoughts, you know, take authority over those thoughts and continue to push forward. Again, journaling, professional therapy, support groups, remembering who you were, what you enjoyed doing prior to this huge responsibility, and get out there and do it. Don't forget about you. Anyways, I guess I'm done here. Thank you for tuning in, Cali Girl EDU. You can also follow me on Instagram at angelic_dayhomes with an S on the end. Please like, if you know anyone that's going through this journey right now, please share this video with them and subscribe. Okay, have a beautiful day.